So what would it look like for you if it were different? If you didn't have that responsibility and if they weren't leaning on you, what would your life look like? What would you be doing?
Oh, I would have soared higher.
You think so?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm angry at everybody in my family. I don't like my family. If they weren't my family, it wouldn't be my friends.
Toni Braxton wasn't just holding the mic. She was holding her entire family together. And now, she's finally speaking out about what fans suspected for years. She was the one earning the money, keeping the household stable, and carrying a weight no one else helped lift. Since childhood, Toni was forced into an adult role, performing, earning, and protecting, while the rest of the family benefited without giving much back. Behind the polished image of Braxton family values, things were far from perfect. Tension simmered, and selfish behaviors were hidden from the public. Toni says Trina and Tawanda, in particular, added to her emotional exhaustion by depending on her financially, while still making her feel like she wasn't doing enough. Despite the public celebrating their sisterhood, Toni was quietly overwhelmed, feeding, clothing, and supporting everyone with no time or space left for herself.
Burden on you is the one that made it out. But you gotta be willing to let them fly.
I feel like I do. I feel like they don't let me.
Take a breath. There's a lot happening. Everyone's talking about the Braxtons returning to TV, and drama is already bubbling. From the outside, Toni Braxton seemed unstoppable. Iconic voice, Grammys, magazine covers, and superstar glow. But behind the scenes, she was deeply unhappy. Before most people even knew what a Grammy was, Toni was winning them. She dominated R&B, set trends, and carried a family that treated her achievements like shared property. 7 Grammys, more than 70 million records sold, and a voice that can move you to tears. Yet somehow she's ended up with almost nothing to show for it. That's the painful truth.
70 million in sales, and you got $1,972? Is that right?
That's right.
People are finally asking what really happened. It all started in Severn, Maryland. A family of 6 kids, a gospel-singing mother, and a home full of ambition. Toni, the oldest, lost her childhood when their mother suffered a long hospitalization. She became the caretaker, making sure her siblings had food and stability while their father worked nonstop. When Toni's career exploded in the 90s with hits like Unbreak My Heart and Breathe Again, tension rose quickly. Instead of celebrating her success, her sisters started treating her like their personal bank account.
About 13 or 14, my mom, she had a really bad accident. She fell. Her back was really messed up, so she was in the hospital a long time. And so I was the surrogate parent for a moment.
Where was Dad?
Working, had to make a living at 6 kids.
Toni recently revealed how emotionally and financially drained she has been for years. She wasn't just carrying the Braxton name. She was carrying the bills, the car notes, the rent, and even the losses from failed family business ideas. She didn't give exact numbers, but it's clear she was supporting nearly everyone. While she didn't directly name names, it was obvious Trina and Tawanda were the biggest contributors to the strain. Tamar, despite her reputation for drama, was actually the one who helped with expenses and didn't ask for payment. She even did background vocals for free. Trina, meanwhile, sent invoices, and Tawanda, though paid as Toni's assistant, still wasn't truly supportive. Then came the toughest line of all: I could have soared higher if I didn't have to carry so much. That says everything.
They weren't leaning on you. What would your life look like? What would you be doing?
Oh, I would have soared higher.
As the oldest, Toni stepped into a second mom role when their mother was hospitalized for an extended time. She handled the house while their father worked endlessly. When Toni became a superstar in the 90s with massive hits, instead of feeling uplifted by her family, she became their financial safety net. She recently opened up about being mentally and financially exhausted, carrying the name, the bills, the rent, and even their failed ventures. She didn't detail how much she spent, but it's clear she was drained. Again, she didn't list names, but the tension with Trina and Tawanda was clear. They expected to be paid to work with her. Tamar, for all her chaos, was the only sister who helped without asking for anything. And once again, Toni said a line that breaks hearts: I could have soared higher if I didn't have to carry so much.
You were upset about stories that your overspending caused this. Because it would appear, and you can explain to us whatever you want to explain to us, but it would appear that even if you don't believe that you got the percentages you felt that you got, you still knew that there was a certain amount of money coming in. And exactly. And you overspent that amount of money.
Well, I was doing math. 1 + 1 is 2 all day long, all across.
Toni worked hard for every part of her success, but in the end, she had to give most of it back, left with almost nothing. People didn't understand how serious things were until her infamous Oprah interview. Instead of empathy, Oprah hit her with one of the coldest questions. Basically, how can you be broke if you're famous? Toni walked in hoping for compassion and walked out humiliated. Rumors circulated that Oprah had warned the record label Toni might speak out, making it seem like Oprah chose the industry over the woman sitting in front of her. That interview didn't just sting, it damaged Toni's career. Then in 2010, things got worse. She was diagnosed with microvascular angina and lupus, forcing her to cancel her Las Vegas residency. It became clear Toni was fighting battles on every front.
That happened.
Because I allowed all my finances to become everyone else's finances. That's pretty much how I got.
When her Vegas show was canceled, her insurance didn't cover a thing. Toni had to pay for production, lighting, musicians, hotels, and staff out of her own pocket, leading her into bankruptcy again. Then, the IRS and California Franchise Tax Board stepped in. The IRS claimed she owed over $340,000, and California added another $116,000. Together, her debt hit nearly $500,000. It leaves people asking, how does a touring legendary artist keep ending up in these financial disasters?
None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
This is before Vincent.
Before Vince, Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni.
Insiders say Toni's biggest burden wasn't the industry. It was her family. She supported them emotionally, financially, and professionally. When Braxton Family Values became a hit, her sisters grew resentful of the higher pay Toni and Tamar received. Filming got so tense production had a halt. Toni reportedly walked off set, done with the chaos. After everything, fame, illness, betrayal, public humiliation, it's no wonder she reached her limit. The sisters, all adults in their late 40s and 50s, were still fighting like teenagers about money and petty drama. Despite the show continuing, their real relationships were falling apart. They blocked each other online and called the family toxic. Toni checked out completely, even after Tracy passed, and they vowed to keep peace in her memory. The fighting continued. Rumors say none of the sisters attended Tamar's cooking show premiere. Tawanda posted shady messages online, and when she got married, Toni and Trina were bridesmaids, but Tamar wasn't invited. Lines were clearly drawn.
I respect where people are. That's just. Is that where I respect where people are. I don't engage. I don't pour into certain types of energy. I make different choices in my life. And that's just.
There was also that uncomfortable moment on the show when someone asked Tawanda about being distant from Tamar. Before she could respond, Tamar cut in, saying Tawanda didn't care about her and only reached out for the cameras. Tawanda fired back that she no longer invests in certain vibes, making it clear she was done. She shifted her focus to her kids and her relationship. Insiders say the tension had been building for years. Tawanda leaned heavily on Toni during her divorce, but now Toni feels more used and supported. Fans are split. Some say Tawanda always had issues with Tamar. Others say jealousy played a role. Even Toni, the family's glue, seems to be backing away. People worry the stress could worsen her health. Comments online say things like, Toni is owed so much, and even, it all starts with the parents. Evelyn needs to be held accountable.
Everybody has a narrative of, we left Tracy behind. We signed without Tracy. Now that part is true. We did sign without Tracy. But the fact is this, we signed in August. Tracy was pregnant with little Kevin. Back in the 90s, you could not be a female and be pregnant. And what they said is they want every woman to want to be like you and for every man to want to.
Then there's Tracy, the deepest heartbreak in the Braxton story. Before she passed in 2022, she carried years of quiet pain. Fans remember how she was excluded from early record deals after getting pregnant, a moment that changed her life and strained her bond with Toni. Their relationship wasn't ordinary sister conflict. It was layered with hurt that never fully healed. The love was there, but too bruised to recover. Now that Tracy's gone, the guilt and sadness linger.
A little more difficult. Sometimes I wake up every morning and I go, oh, did I dream it? Did I dream it? And I have to remind myself, no, she's gone, but she's been here with us for 50 years. So I try to relish in that moment and I try to smile about it and just be grateful for the time you have. And you have to always remember to be kind to one another. We're sisters, so we're always going to fight. That's what sisters do, okay? It's the rite of passage to fuss and fight.
So when Toni says she's drained, it's not just financial fatigue. It's grief, guilt, years of emotional weight. Braxton family values look like a win, but behind the scenes, it tore them apart. Imagine dealing with real family trauma while cameras film every moment. That's not healing, that's pressure. Toni once said, I don't want to be the strong one anymore. And older sisters everywhere felt that deeply. Tracy's exclusion from early music opportunities broke more than her career. It broke her connection with Toni, and her passing left wounds that haven't healed. Filming the show only made things worse for a family already on edge. Toni reached a breaking point. Whether the next season brings healing or ends everything, one truth remains. Even the strongest people need someone to check on them. When the cameras stop and the spotlight fades, the truth remains. And for Toni, that truth has been heavy for far too long.